when you hear that flicker of a dangerous idea in another person, to confront it as opposed to being like,
Yeah, I heard this again. I might be completely off here. You know, you get things off the internet and you don't know
yeah,
what's true and what's not. So if this is completely off base, then just let me know. But I heard that you and Beth. Okay, how am I going to say the name wrong here? Beth Diarujo.
very, yes, yes.
Okay, so I heard that you and Beth Diarujo, the director, actually lived together at one stage. You were roommates.
We weren't roommates. We're very good, very close friends.
Okay.
But yes, I saw that on the internet too. I was like, oh, I would love to be Beth's roommate. No, but we've been close friends for years, and the genesis of this project did happen during COVID when we were sort of in like a, how you'd had pods where there were those people in your life that you would go on walks with, or maybe sit
Mm,
outside 6 feet apart and
mm,
have a
mm.
cup of coffee. So Beth and I were that for each other. So yeah, I remember we were on a walk one day and just kind of bemoaning feeling very creatively stagnant during COVID. And she was like, what if, can I write something for you? And I was like, sure, yeah. And initially it was going to be about a woman in a abusive situation during COVID who was trying to escape it. And I think Beth started to write that, but she was like, it wasn't really resonating with me. And then she saw the Amy Cooper video, which is a woman kind of accusing a Black man in Central Park of
All right, yeah, I
being
remember that.
aggressive and when he was bird watching. And I think that really resonated with her. And she called me and she said, Stephanie, I've changed my mind. I want you to play a white supremacist. and, I was like, oh, oh, okay. And and in my mind, I was sort of I kind of went to the stereotype of perhaps, someone who was living, like maybe they're Southern and, they're,
Yeah.
dry. You get what I'm saying. And as it progressed, she was like, no, I think, she's going to be, think of her more of as like this sort of Instagram influencer who has these very dark motives for the way she presents herself, the way in the way that she does, and that really intrigued me because I'd never seen that character before, so that got me really excited. And then yeah, she sent me the script, and uh I remember, well, first of all, reading it was like getting punched in the stomach multiple times. Um, but because she had written it for me, Emily's character was written as Stephanie. And I told her, I was like, Beth, we have to change this because this is too much. It's too much. Um, but the process of, yeah, creating the character was very, very collaborative after that. I read the script, um, and then as she was casting the other women, I think we went through it scene or beat by beat, just because I Emily in Soft and Quiet is not the protagonist. Like in no way should she be ever be considered a protagonist. She is the
Mm.
antagonist, but we are following her and understanding a story through her experience. And it felt very essential for me to understand the story that Beth wanted to tell. So just getting very clear about, um, yeah, Emily's sort of journey throughout the film.
Right.
Um, yeah.
Wow, that's yeah. I mean, it was such an incredible performance, and there's something particular that I'd like to speak to you about in a few moments about that. But I mean, firstly, congratulations on the movie's success.
Well, thank
I
you.
mean, really, it is, and also, you know, kudos, because your performance was so nuanced. It was like you could feel this. At least this is the way that I saw it. There was this real like rage inside of this person, but it sort of was expressed in such an almost focused, sort of quiet, kind of Terminator sort of way, you know.
Yeah.
Just the stillness. It's like, because I've seen some of the other films that you did, it's completely like you haven't quite done anything like Emily, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
And that really, it really came through, you know. And the movie itself, it's like you said, it asks some very relevant but difficult questions, and it highlights something that is becoming, it's almost so relevant that it's almost becoming cliche now. You know, how divided the world is, how there are these pockets in our society of these very extreme views, and the movie does such a good job of showing how what starts out as a little opinion about something that starts to lean more towards this extreme sort of view, suddenly, like you said just now, snowballs and
Yeah.
has completely dire consequences.
Absolutely.
And we've seen this happen in real life. I mean, this is a movie, but this happens in real life. And the movie really sort of links the real life and the world of movies together in such a potent way. And I wanted to know, like, can you explain your or Emily's trajectory or descent, and what did it teach you about? Did you learn anything from it? Because we've got some hindsight now. What did it teach you about the world that you're in? Did it teach you anything about yourself playing such a character?
Huh. Yeah, I guess. Hmm. That's really hard. Like, yeah, because I don't identify at all with the way Emily sees the world. But I think for me to play the character, and I want to reiterate this, like I don't support any of the things she says, what she believes. But I think for me, um, as an actor, it was important to try and find parts of her that I was able to connect with. And for me, that was trying to to find a way to empathize with her inability to have children, her her feeling like sort of out of control, which obviously her out of control is because of the way the world's changing in ways that she does not agree with in terms of race relations. But I can empathize with that feeling of feeling out of control in the world, of feeling misunderstood, or um like at odds with your environment. um so I guess I don't know that it really taught me about I don't it's very hard with such extreme views
Mm.
um to say that, like, I guess what it taught me was that if you can nip this sort of uh extreme thinking when it's the flicker of an idea before it becomes this explosion, like that all of these women with the right um engagement
Guidance
and
or
conversation, the right dialogue, perhaps they wouldn't have gone down that road. So I think what it taught me was, you know, I think in life we are often faced with having difficult conversations with perhaps people whose views we don't share. And having difficult conversations can be uncomfortable, and they can get heated. But I think what I learned from exploring this character in this story is that those are important to have. Like when you hear that flicker of a dangerous idea in another person, to confront it, as opposed to being like, I don't want to, I want to go there. I'm not going to make myself uncomfortable or engage in uncomfortable dialogue. I think what this film taught me was that it's important, it's essential for us to have those conversations. Yeah.
There's that opening scene that you were speaking about in the church, and I sometimes I didn't plan on asking you this, but I thought to myself, I wonder if you had to, stroll by and find yourself walking into this church and a meeting like this is happening, and you sit down and you hear this conversation unravel. I wonder what would be going through your mind.
Oh gosh, yeah, it's. Ugh.
Gaze into the abyss.